Hi, I'm Drew Dudley, and I used to run the Leadership Development Program at the University of Toronto in Canada. Now I have the opportunity to travel around the world and explore with people what leadership means to them, what it means to their organizations, and what it means to their communities. And one of the things that I've consistently found is people are uncomfortable calling themselves a leader. And one of the big descriptions I get as to why is they say, look, I know I'm good at what I do, but I'm not really sure it's that big. Like, it's not as if I go out there and change the world every day. And I want to tell you a story that I think gets to the heart of where leadership comes from and how often the things that we're putting out into the world that we dismiss as little are often the biggest pieces of leadership, and we have no idea how they're impacting others. I had a guy call me one day and he said, look, I grew up in Illinois on a farm. Then I went to a tiny little liberal arts college. I never really lived in a city till I had my first job, and it was Chicago. On my way to work on my first day in Chicago was the first time that I ever saw a homeless person. If you grow up on farms and in rural communities, you don't usually see homeless people. And he said it was interesting. He wasn't just standing there asking for money. What he was doing is he was walking in between cars at a stoplight, holding out a coffee cup looking for money. And he was making eye contact with all the people driving. And I had no idea that the etiquette on dealing with a homeless person. I thought, oh no, he's going to be angry with me because I don't have any money. So I started leaning under my seats in my car, opening up the center console, looking in the back seat. I just wanted to find any money that I could give this guy. And when I sat up, there's this homeless man about 6 feet away looking really amused at me. And he looks at me and he says, hey, new guy, simmer down. All right, if you don't have any money, you just tell me and I move on. But I could tell you're new here. Do not let this city beat you down. It hasn't beaten me and it never will. It shouldn't beat you. And I said, okay, sir. And he goes, sir, all right. And he walks off. So the next day I'm driving to work again. I get to the same stoplight, but I brought money with me this time because I don't want to have that embarrassing little interaction. And I see the guy and he looks at me and he goes, new guy, city beat you down yet? And I was all flustered. I said, no, sir, you? He goes, I told you, never. And he took the money, he said, you have a good day now, and he walked off. I found out that his name was Larry, and this became what we did every single day. I'd see him, he'd look at me and go, new guy, city beat you down yet? And I'd go, nah, Larry, you? And he'd always take my money and go, I told you, never. Then he'd wish me a good day, and he walked on. About a year after I met him and doing this every single day, I'm driving up to the intersection, really nice day, got the window down, got the money hanging out the window, and Larry walks up to me. He doesn't take the money though, he goes, new guy, hundreds of people drive by here every day and they don't even make eye contact with me. You have given me money every day I've seen you since the day I met you. You know what, man? You've done your share today. Keep your money. We'll pick it up again tomorrow. And I don't know why, but I sat there and I reached into my wallet, took out all the money I had, maybe 60 bucks, held it out to him and said, or I can do their share today. And he goes, the weird thing was Larry didn't take the money. He looked at me, looked at the cash for what seemed like a long time. And right before the light changed, he takes the money, doesn't say good day, doesn't say anything, just nods and walks off. So for 2 more years this goes on. New guy, city beat you down yet? Nah, Larry, you? I told you, never. 3 years after I first saw Larry, I pull up to the intersection, but I'm not going to work. I'm on my 3rd date with this girl. And I know that I really like her because all I can think of is, don't mess this up, don't mess this up, don't mess this up. And Larry makes a beeline for my car. And I think, look, I love this guy, but I have no idea what my date's going to think of my homeless buddy. Larry ignores me completely, leans halfway in the driver's seat to my passenger and goes, hey, I'm Larry. And he goes, I don't know if this guy is the only person on earth who knows my name. He is the only person who has asked for it, though, in the last 4.5 years. Let me tell you something, though. Since I first met him on this intersection, scared out of his mind 3 years ago, he's given me $1,512.68. One day he gave me 60 bucks, made me feel like I had a friend and I wasn't just a charity case. I thought you should know something. You're in the car with a very special man. Don't mess it up. He walks off. The guy told me that my wife told me the night that I asked her to marry me that was the moment she knew she was going to say yes. And why I love that particular story is because to that guy who was handing out the buck every single day or the change every single day, it was nothing. It was like a little bit that he could spare. In some ways, I'm sure he felt like we do, like it's not even enough. I feel bad that I'm giving so little. but he had no idea how it was impacting the individual to whom he was sending it. He had no idea that that guy was keeping track of every single cent. We have no idea when we choose to volunteer, we choose to reach out, we choose to share a kind word with a student, with a fellow volunteer, with somebody that we pass on the street. We have no idea what kind of ripples are actually impacting out there. In my work, I encourage people to ask questions every day that are consistent with who they are. How have I recognized someone's leadership today? How did I elevate instead of escalate today? How have I helped someone else reach a goal today? I suggest this, 2 questions. What is my dollar and who is my Larry? Those 2 questions are the ones that I think drive leadership on a daily basis. And if you're asking every day, what is my dollar and who is my Larry, then what you're doing is you're creating ripples in the world and you have no idea how they're landing. The great thing about choosing to volunteer, especially with young people, is that every single day you'll be presented with an easy opportunity to know what is my dollar and who is my Larry. Start asking both those questions today, and I think everything starts to change for the better. Thanks so much for letting me share that idea with you. I wish you nothing but the best.